marks the first official day of the 2023 hurricane season, June 1st. We keep up with our week-long special, Stormwatch Southwest Florida. Fox 4 committed to watching out for you, your loved ones, for those preparations to help you make the most informed decision before a big storm even forms.
Now tonight, as we continue our special, we will hear how National Weather Service and National Hurricane Center meteorologists forecast the storms, help you understand the watches and warnings put in place, and how local leaders use that information to make the decision to evacuate or not. Also tonight, from the moment they were rescued to the days, weeks, and months later, we're looking back at the stories from survivors and loved ones who lost family members and the lessons they learned. Reminders for all of us on this first day of the new hurricane season.
Raw English muffins.
Yeah.
With chili
beans on top.
I spoke with Carrie and Ken Fritchie minutes after they were rescued off Fort Myers Beach the Sunday after Hurricane Ian hit. Dropped off on the other side of the Matanzas Pass Bridge, sharing their story of survival over their first real meal in days. A hot dog wrapped in aluminum foil.
And this is excellent.
Telling me with bruises on their arms and cuts still on their legs how they survived the near Cat 5 storm, their house on 119 Coconut coming off its pilings.
The time our house started rocking and water.
It was like being in a boat.
Forced to swim out, waiting for the next storm surge wave to carry them into the bedroom window of their 85-year-old neighbor's second-story house next door.
So you swam into her house?
Yes, we tied
there.
herself with extension cords because she can't swim.
It was just horrifying.
These two wanting to evacuate, in fact, had hotel reservations to do so.
They called us on Tuesday and said, I'm sorry, mandatory evacuation. We have to cancel all reservations. So we were stuck.
We could have left ourselves, but we weren't leaving the two older ladies.
No.
You wanted to evacuate.
Yes.
Yes.
And they canceled it. And then at that point,
Where do you go?
Fox 4 recently wrapping up a 7-month-long investigation looking into how Lee County leaders made the call to evacuate. Speaking to survivors months later who said as the shock of the storm wears off, the anger and calls for accountability comes in, feeling the evacuation came a little too late.
Should we have taken it more seriously? Of course, but they should have related to us a lot sooner and in more desperation, like, hey guys, leave.
In fact, our Fox 4 investigation revealed Lee County leaders did not follow their own evacuation plan, which according to storm surge probability models could have come as early as 11 p.m. Sunday night. Those evacuations didn't come until 7 a.m. Tuesday morning.
So what's the point of having a plan if it's laid out in black and white, but then we don't adhere to it?
That's a place to start. That's not the final decision point.
Lee County leaders admitting there will be lessons learned after Ian, and their messaging will be changing this hurricane season.
We're always compelled to take a look at everything that happened, the entire timeline, all the decisions made to work on getting better for the next time.
This while there are also lessons to be learned for all of us, as explained by Stacy Verdream.
I just think by telling this story, if we can save one person's life, then that means everything.
Speaking to us days after her uncle Mike was named as one of the 149 lives lost. His body found 2 days after Ian hit on Matt Lachey.
He was found in the water.
Stacy sharing his story for a reason.
There is a message here that you wanted to share in sharing your uncle Mike's story.
People will hear this and see this, and the people who live in Florida might think twice. And hopefully evacuate the next time a hurricane is coming our way, so other family members don't have to go through this.
And these really are some of the hardest lessons that many in our community had learned. As for the lessons learned from Lee County leaders, Lee County's manager said that the county is working on an after Ian action report, and part of that will be better messaging and public communication ahead of this storm season. Now, you want to hear more about our findings of this 7-month-long investigation, just scan that QR code on your screen. Go to the evacuation on fox4now.com. Also, one of the lessons we learned during Hurricane Ian was the way we read forecasts and how those can be refined. Now, leading up to Ian and in the days after, leaders have said that Ian's shifting cone, which looks like this, they said that it was difficult to track.
48 hours they were on the periphery.
Cone 72 hours before the storm, we still were not in the cone. Lee County wasn't.
But the cone, as explained by National Hurricane Center specialist Robbie Berg, explained that it doesn't show a complete picture of the storm's impact. Well, now we know that. It really just shows where the center of the storm is headed. And as we know, when we have a storm as large as we did with Hurricane Ian, those impacts spread much farther than that center line.
The cone is just where the center of the storm might move. It says nothing about the winds of the storm. It says nothing about the storm surge.
And for instance, when Hurricane Ian was tracking toward Tampa, the outside of the cone that you see here was still touching Lee County's barrier islands, and all of Charlotte County was inside of the cone. But with a storm like Ian, more than 100 miles wide, even if the eye did go over Tampa directly, people in southwest Florida would still feel the impacts, including deadly storm surge. Cuyahoga County was never in Ian's forecast cone, but still had 6 to 10 feet of surge because of it. That's why National Weather Service meteorologist Daniel Noah said it's important that we look at all of the available data and potential impact instead of just where the center of the storm is tracking.
People need to break up with a cone.
As you're planning this season, it's also critical to remember that the surge, the wind and the rainfall that come with the storm can reach far beyond the eye and can be devastating, even if we're not directly hit again. As if on cue, we're also watching a new tropical depression that's working its way through the Gulf. So we'll bring in Fox 4 certified meteorologist Katie Walls with the latest.
That's right. We have tropical depression number 2, which officially formed at 5 p.m. Hurricane hunters were flying through it this afternoon and basically determined that it did indeed have a distinct center of circulation. That said, your takeaways are simple. Impact here will be minimal. It's going to stay offshore. We don't have any watches or warnings along the coastline, so it's going to stay away. It's also going to be short-lived. So even though we are anticipating it to become Tropical Storm Arlene tonight into tomorrow, it's expected to maintain weak tropical storm strength, barely a tropical storm tomorrow. Then over the southern Gulf, it will be encountering very strong wind shear, which will help to further dissipate it, basically help to kill it off. So by the time it heads into the southern Gulf right over western Cuba this weekend, it's expected to be a remnant low, which is why our impacts here in southwest Florida will be minimal. We'll continue to see these thunderstorms enhanced, basically our classic afternoon storms, just a bit more intensive, a bit more rainfall associated because of that Gulf moisture coming in. Now let's take a look at one of those downpours which just developed right over Port Charlotte, nearly stationary, and this is an example of one of those storms that could easily produce a quick 1 to 2 inches in the rain gauge. Same story from Alva to LaBelle, right along State Route 80 and farther inland to Moorhaven as well as Clewiston, right here in this part of Glades and northern Hendries, where we do have a flood advisory currently in effect because of excessive rainfall here over the last hour. We'll talk more about this threat as we head into the weekend coming up next.
All right, Katie, thank you. And even though impact from tropical depression number 2 will be limited for us, that might not be the case next time. During Hurricane Irma back in 2017, leaders evacuated most of the people on our coast because of the predicted storm surge between 4 and 7 feet. But that storm surge didn't come back then. However, as we know with Hurricane Ian, meteorologists predicted between 10 and 13 feet of storm surge, and that could hit our coast in the worst case scenario situation. Hours later, this is what we saw in our coastal communities.
There is a saying, run from water, hide from wind. During Hurricane Ian, we saw exactly why that message is so important. And most of the 149 confirmed deaths from Ian came from people who died in the water. People who stayed inland faced plenty of wind, which did cause plenty of damage, but not nearly as deadly as the impact of the water.
I thought maybe we were going to get washed away.
That floodwater sweeping away cars, boats, entire homes. Experts say storm surge reached as high as 13 feet in some parts of Lee County, and also making meteorologists' worst-case scenarios a reality. The National Hurricane Center's goal over the next few years is to rethink how the public ultimately sees forecasts and models. Those experts tell Fox 4 meteorologist Andrew Shipley how they're working to use the lessons of Ian to make forecasts in the future more accurate and easier to understand.
That's right. We're already watching developments in the Gulf just as hurricane season starts. We want to take a look at how forecasting things like this could change in the future. We all know the impacts of Hurricane Ian storm surge had here in southwest Florida. Half the people died in Lee County from drowning alone. The National Hurricane Center says they are rethinking the way they're forecasting storms and how that could change and save lives.
Storm surge has the potential to kill the largest number of people in a single day of any of the hazards, as we saw in Ian last year.
Tropical storms and hurricanes all come with a threat of flooding rain, damaging winds, and tornadoes. But 90% of the fatalities come from storm surge. NHC Director Dr. Michael Brennan says they are working on ways to better demonstrate surge, especially when 10 to 15 feet of surge in Fort Myers Beach can be hard to visualize.
That's a number that we think of as physical scientists, and it means something to us, but to people who live in an area, what does that mean? What is 10 to 15 feet of water? What's that going to do to my house? What's that going to do? What's that going to look like in a landmark that I recognize in my city?
The Hurricane Center is working with social scientists to better visualize surge with the hope that it increases awareness. They are also using a brand new surge model this season,
helping us to push real-time storm surge predictions out 72 hours in advance of the storm to get that critical life-saving information out to emergency managers and others who make those evacuation decisions.
In addition to a new surge model, NHC is also working on a next-generation hurricane-specific model called HAVS. The model will provide a 7-day forecast with improved track and intensity guidances. Dr. Brennan says the Hurricane Center is also making strides in rapid intensification forecasts.
We've made some of the most aggressive forecasts that have ever been made in terms of initial intensity forecasts for storms like Ian and Ida in the past couple of years that have really set the expectations.
Also this summer, the Hurricane Center extended their forecast outlooks from 5 to 7 days.
So it gives an additional heads up that, hey, these are the systems the Hurricane Center is looking at.
While NHC and researchers around the country are looking to improve forecasts, the message is clear. It only takes one storm to make a busy season for you. In studio, meteorologist Andrew Shipley, Fox 4.